I got helped out. Sarah over there, pink. You see?
Hi,
You
Sarah.
wave to Sarah.
Wave, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Hi.
That's right. Thanks to her, me,
Dad.
and the conceivers there. Henry. Where's the coffee? Let's find some coffee. What a guy, huh? That's what I'm saying.
What's up, dude? All right, this is what you do. Never give her money. Never trust a woman. Drink as much as possible and be in a rock and roll band, and you'll be fine. Remember that. Now you're going to grow up when you're 20 years old. You're going to go, that dude, when I was like 6 months old, came up to me and said, Peter, there's another one. Never listen to anything a guy says to you. All he wants to do is get in your pants. Don't go out with musicians. Go for doctors and lawyers, and you'll be happy. Now she's sitting there going like, get the fuck out of here.
She didn't like that one.
She's adorable. What's her name? Well, you could have made it a little easier. What the fuck's her name again? That is fucking cool.
We're in the first Avatar.
That is cool. You see what he did to you? You're gonna have to deal with that for the next 70 years, 80 years. She's cute. You two should get a room. Like join them together. That's an old one. But I'm still gonna kill you.
It was blue last night. Everybody see that game?
What game?
So who are these guys?
Oh, this is Keith Collins. Johnny Lee Middleton's little brother. Johnny Middleton's older brother.
Where's Ryan from
My father.
And James.
He was outside. And I'm the host of Swanky, so play with him. Oh shit! Paul Neal attacked.
I know it's summer, but it got real cold.
So we're waiting for who? Jason, where are we waiting for?
Smells like a bunch of shit.
This is good.
Ron, what is it?
He's the only guy that can get away with a comment like that. I love him. He's like, I'm like his illegitimate son. God,
Can you toss that on my table?
very intricate.
White guys like autographs. Let's see if it's this chance to get some autographs. I'm not going nowhere, man. I'm gonna hang out with you guys all night.
Jason, put together.
Doors did. You know, in Thunder Bay in Canada, he'll have the with Donnie's performance and a bunch of others.
There will be a tribute CD tributing
Cool.
Chris Oliva. So
Well, that's really great.
more info to follow on that. John's going to call on the hands, so raise the hand. And
Certainly.
he is the master of the
I'm great at
pointing
this
finger.
stuff. I can point. I can't play gutter ballet, but I can point.
Okay, so ask away.
Ask away.
That was
No, he's only 13.
How you doing?
He's doing a lot better since I met you in that hat. Remember we took the picture with that hat,
Yep.
right?
But I actually have a question.
Yeah.
Out of all the albums, what's your favorite heavy song that you guys did, and what's your favorite ballad that you did?
Favorite heavy song?
And then your favorite ballad.
Ooh, God, that's tough. For me, like, the favorite heavy song is probably Beyond the Doors of Star. And by far, Believe is the... Yeah! By the way, a song that Paul wrote, you know, which is... I'll tell you, that to me is like one of the deepest, heaviest, like, ballad songs that I've heard. And that's my favorite, you know, ballad. Everyone else, well, they probably like
You
know.
stole my heavy song. Ballads, necrophilia. I don't know.
Only you would say that. Oh, God, someone shoot me before I turn 50.
You got a tape recorder with your chair.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Let me borrow those for a few minutes.
All right.
Did you want everyone, each guy to answer that? So, Chris, finish your answer. Necrophilia and what?
Summer's Rain.
Summer's Rain. And Paul?
Hey, Donna!
Hi, Donna. Can I borrow your car for a minute?
Come here, Zach. We got some questions
You don't,
for you.
so you don't trust me, eh?
Where's the Pokemon card?
Paul, they want to know what's your favorite ballad, favorite heavy song.
Favorite
Answer.
ballad, unquestionably Believe.
We've plotted that.
Probably Ghosts in the Rose.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. And Mr. Middleton? I have to say Mr. because he's a, you know, he's one of the upper echelon guys. Got to be careful with him because he's really stubborn.
Heavy song.
Nasty in the morning.
Gotta think about that one.
It's not like we have all the fucking time in the world to answer the goddamn question.
I say Mountain King and probably Believe.
All right, Steve.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
We had 25.
When the crowd's gone, I like that.
Legends of the Night.
Al,
Yeah, that's
what's your
a good
favorite
one.
song besides Godzilla or anything like that?
Whip most.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you gotta love it. Next question, anyone? Does anyone have any? Go ahead.
I was reading on the website that you guys are doing something for Broadway.
We are? Yes, we are. Actually, Paul will probably be able to answer that better than any of us because Paul knows what's going on.
Basically, what's going on is we sold Romanov to Case Theatrical, which is like one of the biggest Broadway producers. The only problem that's occurred is when John and I and Bob sold Romanov, there was no such thing as Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And then what's happened is Trans-Siberian Orchestra has taken up all the time that we're supposed to be working on that on Broadway. But since TSO has had so much momentum, it's kind of been distracting. But as soon as we finish the next Savatage album, we're going back to work on that.
I got a question in 2 parts.
Certainly.
First, with the new TSO album, and then you're going to be touring that in New York.
Paul, you probably answer that. You gotta understand, Paul knows everything that's going on here.
John?
No misunderstanding.
The bar now.
No, basically, Beethoven's Last Night is the next Trans-Siberian Orchestra album. It's 99% done. There's like 4 more days of mixing.
There's only a 40% chance of that, though.
It's great, though. You're gonna love it.
It's really great. It's about the night
It came out
Beethoven.
really good.
It's basically about the night Beethoven dies. It came out killer, and that will definitely be out in January.
Yeah, it came out.
January of what year?
January
2004.
I'm sorry. I like when you have the mic. This is great. This is easy. And we get paid for this too. You sit here and you're like, let Paul answer. Yes. All I have to do is point to
You're good at that.
Great.
First of all, Chris, I just want to say Italian Punk kicks ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing today, so they're real pissed off.
And you should, if you're here with us, I mean, look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah, this.
We have Paul, we have Mockles, we have.
How can I possibly
we even have Johnny. I mean, with really nice glasses.
One question after that. Is there any chance that either Dr. Butcher or Italian would ever open up a Savatage? Like,
You gotta be shitting me, right? It's like if Dr. Butcher was to open with Savatage, first of all, I'd be dead of a heart attack. And he'd be the richest man in the world. Never gonna happen.
Hey, Paul, why don't we set up that Dr. Butcher Savatage store?
No, I don't think that. Honestly, I don't think that would happen. But you know, you never know. I mean, you know, we are prone to do stupid things, and that would be a pretty stupid one. So we'll probably try it.
John?
Yes, I'm pointing. I'm looking. It's only one hand at a time. I can do that. Yes.
What are you guys listening to right now?
What do we listen to?
Yeah, music-wise.
Right now, I'm listening to you. Music-wise?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I tell you what, I'm very familiar with Bohemian Rhapsody. I'll tell you what, I can recite that goddamn song to you backwards, forwards, and sideways. But no, I mean, I listen, myself personally, I listen to like classic rock stuff, Queen,
Sweet.
I listen to John
Deep
Lee
Purple.
snore.
They're musical. It was musical. And then, you know, but no, like
People
classic
get like
rock.
those weather tapes, the tape.
So he has to make a joke out of this, all right? It's like, I'm trying to be serious for once in my goddamn life. Queen, Pink Floyd, The Who, The Beatles. The Beatles were probably, like, you know, the thing I listen to the most. I have every Beatles CD I bring with me everywhere I go, except when Al cracks them up and smashes them. Hey, I love the Beatles, especially I Want to Hold Your Hand, you know, great, love it, you know, splendid. Are you believing anything I'm talking about?
I need a drink.
You're not believing anything.
I was waiting for you to get to
No, really, I mean, seriously, like Queen, Pink Floyd, The Who was a big influence. You know, the Beatles, you know, and the later Beatles stuff. And I just thought the Beatles were like incredible songwriters because, you know, it's like that was a band that you could put a record on and every song you would sit there and go like, where the fuck did they come up with these melodies? You sit there and you're like, God damn, hello? I mean, great stuff. Elton John, another brilliant, you know, brilliant stuff like that. I don't know about these guys. They probably listen to like Lincoln Logs or something. No, but I'm sure their influences are kind of the same. Imagine you drove 50 miles to sit here and look at me and go like, I can't believe he's saying this.
I listened to, what's the song on Madden 90 or 2000 on the PlayStation?
Dun, 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 dun.
And I listened to John try to learn Bohemian Rhapsody for 2 minutes.
I did pretty good. You know, it was his fault. It was his idea.
He's like, I got it down. And he's on the phone next minute. Yeah, Paul's Bob Kinkle coming to Germany.
It's like Bob Kinkle's like my safety net. You know, it's like when the guy's tight roping in the circus. It's like there's the net. Net, no net. It's like net. All right, if I fuck up, he's there. It's like it's great. You gotta love it. I mean, I can't even play gutter ballet, and I wrote it. Are you getting any of this?
All of it.
Remember all this stuff. This is very important.
Marcus, can you still hear?
What?
I remember the first time I went shopping at a mall with Steve Watkins. Actually, I was with him when I got my ears pierced for the first time, and he had to like make me stand on a certain side of him because he can't hear out of one of his ears.
We killed. That was me and my brother. Me and my brother Chris. I gotta tell you, me and my brother Chris tortured this poor man for 3 years. We were like, listen, take these broomsticks. We chopped up broomsticks and gave them to him to play and said, we can't fucking hear you. Use these. And then we surrounded him with all our amplifiers, and we were terrible, back then. We couldn't even play Smoke on the Water. Right? It didn't matter as long as it was as loud as possible. And Steve was like, wow, shit. Louder and louder. That's when the guy came up with Dr. Kill drums then. Because it was like he was hitting the drums so goddamn hard they were breaking into pieces. And my brother Chris, I'll never forget it, God rest him, my brother Chris was like, I can't fucking hear you! I'm like, you can't hear him, then you're fucking great stuff. You can't make shit like that up, right?
You haven't got one already? No.
Oh.
I didn't say anything.
Anyway, next. Anyone?
On the right there.
What's going on with the new Dr. Butcher?
New Dr. Butcher. Well, we have it written, and we're waiting for Paul and us to finish the new Savatage, and then Chris and I are going to go in and probably drink a lot and finish it. It's very heavy and it's very fun and you're going to love it. Hopefully it'll come out soon. Probably within the next 10 years. But we'll take advance orders now.
So money up front.
Only cash though. No. Send your money orders to
I'm sorry, right there in front of
I wanted to say, you said a little bit ago when you were talking about the music that you listen to, how you're like, how did they come up with these melodies?
Right.
I mean, how do you guys come up with your stuff? I'm sitting in a car.
You really want to know?
You really don't want to know.
It's basically a deep-seated fear of having to get a real job one day. It drives us.
Do you really want to know the truth? We sit there at Paul's house, and I sit there at the piano, or Al or Chris or whatever, and Paul sits there at the TV hitting buttons, going like, da 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 da. I'm like, that sounds great. And you know what? It fucking works. I'm just like, you dick, I can't believe you did this and you're not watching TV. That's what we do. No, actually, in all honesty, Paul's great at coming up with melody ideas, and we kind of bounce them off of each other.
Got that 20.
You better make that 100. But no, in all honesty, Paul, actually, all the guys involved in Savatage are good songwriters in their own right. They have their own different styles, which is cool. Chris, I mean, come on, you can't. Is that like heavy metal personified or what? And Chris is just like, I hate the world. So it's like with Chris, it's like, great, if we need something heavy, I just push and go like, fuck you. Al is more like sophisticated writer. Al comes up with stuff like Al plays something and go like, okay, well, that's really cool. Then after like a half a bottle of vodka is gone between the two of us, we sit there like, that's great, we love it. And then he's just sitting there going like, I'm not going to argue with these two guys because they're going to kick my ass. I love it.
See, now you're talking about the same guy with the poor Jeff, so you have decent night, go fuck yourself.
That was the George, that's right. I don't remember.
Very sophisticated, man.
No, it's like with Savatage, it's like an open forum and everyone contributes in their own.
Honestly, one of the great things about the band is,
Why are you talking?
I'm a smart one.
Hey, no one comes into the microphone.
Exactly. Everybody in the band has a lot of talent. Everybody fills in a certain, and like usually, one person's missing, somebody else will come up with, and it's just there's a lot of shortstops in the band.
Usually, what most of us are missing, the lead was taken when we weren't looking, though.
Criminal, too. Bad enough I get blamed for everything else that goes wrong. Now I'm a criminal. Listen, I haven't stole a song in 2 days. Come on.
All right, John, find someone.
I'm finding someone. Watch
This guy right here.
Boom.
This is for Paul. I just want to know, besides Savatage and the One Metal Church album, have you ever written for any other bands besides Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Badlands, Band Development, a number of bands over the years, but honestly, one of the reasons like we settled down with Savatage and Trans-Siberian Orchestra is just, especially Savatage, is I love John O'Leary. a mad crush. There you go. No, it's the great thing about, because I produced a number of bands before Savatage, but the great thing about Savatage is anything that you can imagine musically, they can do. And you know, it's for a while that I was producing bands. They would send you down and you meet with bands and you say like, play a D minor 7th chord and they give you this blank stare like, huh? You know, and it's like really scary.
He says it now when I look at Al.
Yeah.
Hey Al, what's up?
I remember me and Al were doing an interview for a Japanese guitar magazine, and they're going over our guitar solos, and they're like, "Can you explain this solo?" And Al's like,
"No."
I was doing the Phrygian mode, and the Lydian, and the scale, and here and there, and they look at me like, "Chris, what about this song?" I'm like, "Well, my one finger was here."
Some guy one time asked me, he goes, man, you write some great songs. Like, can you read music? I'm like, fuck no, I have no idea what the fuck. It's like, you just do it, you know? I don't know. Never mind. Steve, you're next. Pick someone. Break the head.
All right, I guess I speak for everyone. I'm saying, when Savatage going to be back? When are we going to see him live, the new album and everything?
Paul?
And
You are-
yes. Who got the pickup Zach today?
No, Zach's in Florida. He had some stuff to do, and we were lucky to get Johnny up, which was really great. And Al out of Long Island. In all seriousness, just for 2 seconds, we can't thank you guys all enough for coming down because I know some people come.
Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, we really appreciate it. It's really, really cool that you guys all did this. It's like, I'm blown away. I'm sitting there going like, Jesus Christ, this is great.
I mean, honestly, it's better than the money. Don't tell the labels that, but it really is.
I think they're here.
I think she's at the mall. This is probably with my wife at the mall. Anyway, anyone else? Right there. What I got?
Paul, on the new metal church masterpiece, they give you credit for nutter butters and converters.
Well, it's Kurt has a dog that I would always eat. When we did the last album, we always had a lot of Nutter Butters piled all over the console, and so we shipped out a case for the last album. You know, health food. You know, has the same nutritional value as like the Daily News. It's like
that's like better.
Al, John,
You're back over here. Yo.
Oh man, yeah, I like your old stuff like Sirens and Dungeons and Calling. You guys remember that retro 80s thrash when you guys came out like Possessed and all that stuff?
What year was that? I don't remember that. I mean, you know, that was like a great time because the thing was like Steve and myself and my brother. I mean, we were just like, we were a bunch of kids. We were just sitting there going like, what the fuck are we gonna do? So we were just like, whatever, and we came up with like Sirens. I remember us writing the Sirens record and sitting there in this. We had this rehearsal place that was classic. I mean, it was like a shitty rat-infested hole that we called the pit with like a parachute for like a roof, and it was like. But you know, we came up with that. We were like, man, there's something here, and. No one gave a shit. We were stuck in Florida, you know, we were like, wow, no one's ever gonna, and this one guy heard it, and he, you know, took, you know, the time to like get it out to people, and then everyone liked it. We were like blown away. I mean, we were just kids out of high school. Actually, we were kids thrown out of high school.
I got a diploma.
Well, you weren't thrown out, right? Steve was like the only one that like actually graduated. I got thrown out for lighting the vice principal on fire with a cigarette. It was a total fucking accident, I swear to God.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what my dad said. He's like, what did you do? I said, I lit him on fire. It was a mistake. One of those shirts that caught on fire. It wasn't my fault. I flicked a cigarette and he went up. And he's sitting there going, oh, Lehman, you're fucking out of here. I may be out of here, but you're on fire. You better throw my ass. My dad just looked at me and like, get a job. I was like, I'm going to go play in a band. And I started playing in a band. But that period of time was a very, very cool period of time because we were just like finding out. It was like the first time we started writing music and stuff. And be honest with you, when I listen to it nowadays, I think it's fucking terrible. But you know, if you think about it and you see the evolution of how the band evolved over the years, especially after we hooked up with Paul, up until we hooked up with Paul, we were very, very raw. And we just didn't really give a rat's ass what it, you know, we didn't give a shit. But Paul was the one that gave us the confidence to, like, you know, try to explore other things with, like, orchestrations and
Words
the
over 4
keywords.
letters, you know.
Words more than, you know, words that meant more than "fuck you," "this siren's," that shit. It was like, I was like, whenever I needed a word and I couldn't think of any, I think I was just like, what am I going to do here? Oh, great. That fits. It's great. Everyone's like, what made you think of that shit? I was like, I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just went, great.
It was very different for everybody. Because when I was growing up, I was into like Slayer, Celtic Frost, Possessed. When you guys came out, I was like, wow, it's cool.
Some of the mellower bands.
Yeah. It's just great that you're doing different stuff. You're still around. I mean, a lot of those guys are.
It's weird that we're still around. We should have probably been shot off the face of the earth years ago, but
Hell no.
I don't know. You know what it is about Savatage? I think the thing about Savatage is with all the shit that we've gone through a lot of shit.
We're just too lazy to pay attention to what
Yeah,
we're
just. I think what Savatage is, what happened is we've never really, except for 1 year. All right, we all know what year that was. Fight for the Nightmare. Okay, go. Give me the boo-hoo right now. Yeah, well, you know. Believe me, you had to be there to believe it. You want this? I mean, but we never really like conformed, you know, we never really like changed our approach to things. It's like, even this present lineup of Savatage, it's like, you know, we've never really like tried to like jump on what, you know, what the trend is or anything like that. We just do it. Well, it's like there's no, you know, if you're going to follow that, you're going to end up falling off. You know, because all those bands that were doing that followed that trend thing, they're all gone. And they used to make, I'll tell you, there's a lot of bands, they used to make fun of us back in like the late 80s, early 90s. Oh, you guys, dinosaur rock, oh, blah, blah, blah. But they're all fucking gone, and Savatage is still here. Thanks to a lot of alcohol and Paul's bank account. I'm only kidding. But, you know, that's, you know, Paul stealing the microphone.
There's one thing that was important with Savatage, and I think the reason they're so, bands either grow or they die. If you keep remaking the same album over and over and over again, you can see bands like from the past, I'll let remain nameless, where they just keep...
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
You use the wording a lot better than I do. Here you go, education.
I'm just glad you guys don't jump on any trendy bandwagons. Like nowadays, a lot of people are just finding a trend and then will jump on it, and then radio kills the songs, and then all of a sudden it's burned out. People are saying, "Hey, I'm sick of this." You know, I like a band that's steady and still around. That's why you guys I have a lot of respect for you guys. So.
I think one of the things, though, is that if you do music you believe in, eventually the fans and the money and all that other stuff will come. If you try to chase the trends and the money, it never comes, you know. Or if it does, it's just like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that Ricky Martin song?
No, the Ricky Martin.
That would have been great. I mean, I practiced in Spanish for weeks.
Jason, Ben?
Yes.
You guys seem to have a cult following, and anyone who's into Savatage is most likely into Fate's Warning or Dream Theater or any of those bands. How do you feel about them?
About those bands?
Those bands, and would you have a tour with them? I know you did a festival.
We did a show with Dream Theater last year with Face Warning.
Yeah, we toured Face Warning like a long time ago.
We did a
I mean,
tour with them.
recently, like nowadays, like
I think
like on a
we
tour
ruined their
next
lives.
year.
Those I don't think they're together. Is Face Warning still together?
Yeah,
Right. They survived touring with us. God bless that guy, because I know I got hammered many a night.
I mean, we'll tour with anybody if the, you know, the situation's right, the bands get along, you know, and basically we get along with any kind of band, you know. So it's just a matter of
metal.
That's a great band. They're great musicians.
Well, I did anyway. They're all from Long Island.
What band is
Yeah.
this? Oh, great musicians, really great musicians. I mean, we're actually fans.
We played with them at Monsters of
Well,
Rock.
I just did a show with them in Brazil, well, not that long ago. I'm sorry, Jason, you had a question?
Yeah, kind of a two-part, I suppose.
Two parts.
Well, one is, you guys, like you were just talking about, like all the albums kind of changing and sounding a little different, almost like a new band, a fresh sound. Where do you vision the sound? I mean, you look at Edge of Thorns and Streets, and
every album has a beautiful, distinct sound that, you know, differentiates each other. Where you know, and it's a lot of you guys, Paul and John probably, where does this inspiration come from? How do you know when you achieve that sound?
Stella Schneider. Honestly, I think it just kind of happens. It's everyone in the band, I think, basically, you know, it just comes into the picture in the end. And honestly, we don't think about it, it just kind of happens. But you are aware that you have to try to beat or grow from the next album.
So every like guitar sounds, everyone is like, people on the site go like, how do you achieve the guitar sound? How do you get the Chris sound? It's like, they're all different. You know,
I don't
so
think
many,
we don't sell our stuff every year. Are you saying Chris will leave
I mean,
us?
whatever, all the guitar, whatever parts, a lot of, I guess the majority of us are guitar players, so, you know, everybody's asking,
Yeah,
how do you, what do you use your knob into and everything?
It's also, I think, also because, you know, the membership has grown a lot too. I mean, you know, because from Mountain King, you know, afterwards, you know, Chris came on board because the music started to get so complicated, you needed a second guitarist. And then after the unfortunate demise of course, Chris leaving, which was a tragedy that nearly ended the band. And then, you know, Alex Skolnick was there for a while, which he was a great guitar player, but that was just a temporary thing, and because he had his own projects to move on to. And then we were really lucky to bump into Uncle Al. We must have auditioned like 100.
Uncle Al.
Yeah. We must have auditioned. And true story about Albert Trevor, just for anyone who hasn't heard it, that was like, we got Chris Cavan. He had Chris, and that was like...
D. Snyder's waiting outside for your
Everyone wants to kick my ass.
I think it's after me too, actually. Oh, part 2, okay. Now, is there anything that you've recorded that maybe you're not very particular in what it sounds like? Maybe even if it's a song on an album or something like that. Like Streets, I think it's Streets, right? Is like one of your albums. Every one of it's done a little different from the other
Streets was a real special record. There was something about Streets that had this, like, as far as, I don't know about what Paul thinks, but as far as I'm concerned, like when my brother was alive, that was when, you know, that was the peak of Paul and my brother and working together. And I think that was like, you know, we worked on that record for a year. Actually, I left before the record was done because he wanted me to stay. I was like, fuck this, I'm gone. It was like a year. I was like, we're done. You know, what else are you gonna? He's like, this is mix 32A of like Believe. I'm like, 32A? Are you out of your fucking mind? You know, but that's the thing. It's like, but in all honesty, I'm making a joke, but in all honesty, Paul would hear things that I was just so burnt at that time. It's like, you know the song, what's it, A Little Too Far?
Never heard it. No.
All right? It was just piano and
You guys did that
vocal.
one?
That is great.
Right.
You guys?
I think so, right?
Gotta get back.
Oh yeah, gotta get back wherever we're going. But the thing was weird is like we did that song once, and I think we got it on what, the second take.
This is a true story, because John had to play
I had to play it and sing it at the
flew in a
same time.
German Steinway, a Hamburg Steinway, because we wanted that sound.
At like
$2,000
$2,000 a day.
It was like ridiculous. And then John had to play the song and sing it perfectly because the piano would bleed into his vocal mic, so you had to get it in one
You had
take.
to get it once.
Normally we take like 12 tracks of vocals, bounce them down 12. We couldn't do it with this. So John nailed it in the second take. And unfortunately, the engineer at the time stored it over his vocals.
Fucked it up.
Screwed it up.
I did it 300
Then he had to do it 300 more times to do it
I
right.
was like so sick of that goddamn song. I was like, you know what? This song, I hate this song. But when it was done, I was like, you know what? You know, it came out great. But we went from doing it in 2 takes to taking like, what was it like? I don't, you know what?
Literally like
I don't
300.
even want. Because I remember seeing a hand truck go out of the studio with like 6 racks of tapes on it, said a little too far, a little too far. Like, a little too far? I'd say it's a way too far. You know? But it's like, that was the record. I think that was where, you know, we were at our working together with my brother when he was still alive. That was like the peak.
Right.
Yes.
What would you consider your most complex song concerning instrumentation and orchestration?
Now he's seized up. We're going to have to reboot him.
That's a good one. You know?
Gutter
Most
ballad,
complex?
like that has the most things going on, the most, you know, instrumentation, the most orchestration. I like the newer stuff.
Some with the vocals, probably Chance.
Like Chance. Definitely Chance, One Child, Wake and Magellan.
Wake of Magellan was probably like
Hourglass.
one of those. Hourglass was another one that was like, I mean, Hourglass is like, we're sitting, doing that live, you're sitting there going like, come on, run away, then all that. You know,
all the smokers and older people give me the parts with all the like tons of lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like 130 degrees on stage, and I'm going Columbus and Magellan and a gun.
We're like, okay, we can't do that. Let's dump that part on Catherine. Chris, you do this. Me and Al are sitting there with a cigarette going like, chance. Chance. Cameron's like, we're sitting there looking. He's like, he's got his veins are like popping out of his head. And me and because Al's on my side of the stage, so we have this like thing sitting there. It's like our side of the stage is kind of like a bottle club, all right? It's like we're sitting there looking at poor Chris, and he's sitting there, veins are like popping out of his head, and Zach and him are like, oh my God, Magellan, and we're sitting there going like, I can't believe it. It's like, take a chin, you know. Probably Wake of Magellan was complicated. Yes.
I'm hearing the new album is going to be a lot heavier. Is that just the sound you always want to get back to after doing like more melodic albums, or is that just like maybe something the fans just always want more?
I just think it's just, you know, we just want to have some fun on this, you know. I mean, we, you know, worked hard on these records and all the concept stuff. It's a long process, and I think with this new Savatage record, we just want to go back and have a good time and have some fun, and you know, the stuff on the new Savatage record is very, very heavy, and it's very cool, and you guys are gonna love it.
Yeah.
Psych!
Hopefully February, Al?
What?
February?
Wally World.
Yeah, Savatage.
February,
yeah. With a little luck, hopefully it'll be out in February.
It's gonna. You guys are gonna like it. If you like it, it's very cool. Stuff that we're writing right now, that we're working on, we're really excited about it, and it's really good stuff. And it's definitely different. It's different than like Wake and Dead Winter Dead. It's way more aggressive, way more pissed off because we're pissed off at everything. But it's good. You know, you guys are gonna like it. It's very what you guys want. We're doing this for you guys. Buy the damn thing.
I got tickets to the Yankee game. I got a spot.
Really? Can I have those?
Two questions. One got brought up while I was thinking of this one. You guys have had the same lineup now for, this is going to be the third album.
Give it about fucking amazing, right?
You go to the Yankee game. How does it?
I finally found guys who could drink with me and not die.
Musically, how does it feel to do with the same amount of players? Do you get any like monotony in the?
No, it's way better. It's way better. Especially since everyone contributes to parts and everything else like that. And I mean, it's we have the two old timers here, of course, and we miss Steve. We really do. We do.
Sure about that. Why don't you tell them the truth? It's like Caffrey, no one can drink better than Al and Chris. But they can still do it in public, which is a great thing. I can't.
He's amazing. I actually saw him once drink an entire quart of Stoll Schneider and go on stage.
That was the second one.
Yeah, it was scary.
Too.
But now he's reformed.
Yeah. I don't drink anymore.
So now it's only one.
Yeah, right. Don't drink any less either. But.
This is John when he's drinking. That's him.
The keyboards hold them up.
You can see it in his eyes. He's looking at the piano. He's like, black keys, white keys. Yeah. This is what's
I remember on the Gutter Ballet tour, right? On a Gutter Ballet tour, he used to play Mentally Yours, and that was my gauge for how drunk he was, because the more he drank, the slower the beginning got. So he was up there, didn't drink much. I was like, Timmy went out, but there was some nights it's like Timmy was crawling out.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a bad reputation for drinking. Pardon fucking me. I'm having a good time at this, all right?
Yeah, but you're on with
Let's
it.
have fun with this.
Well, now, ever since Monsters of Rock last year, the band has been dubbed Savatage.
Yep. Savatage. We don't drink before the show at all. That's tough. You have no fucking idea how tough that is. But we have, and that's honest, that's the truth.
made a world of
because
difference.
it's made a world of difference. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I've gone up on stage at times where I didn't even know what the keyboard was. I'm sitting there looking at it going, oh, okay, this. But you know, we got to the point where it's like, you know, we had like some experiences, like we were like, you know, we're ripping off people doing this.
UFO?
Who? Oh, those guys. Yeah, that was. Anyway,
next,
but anyway, you know, you just, you know, we, you have to like stay sober and do the show, and then after the show, then you know, you have fun to do whatever you want. Why are you talking when
you
we're
guys become way too important to us, and we figured if we take it serious and work real hard, then you guys will stay with us. Because I've only been in the band 4 years, and I can't believe the following that he developed over the last 15 years, 18 years now.
20.
That wasn't even meant. That was a lot of love.
You have your checkbook with you? You better have it with you. No, I mean, Al's right. I mean, that's like something that, you know, in all honesty, it's like, a lot of times I've looked at videos and stuff that we've done, and yeah, jolly. There's lots of good times, and we had fun where, you know, he's swimming across the stage on a guitar coffin and shit like that. Or you know, or kicking someone's ass in the first row. But, you know, it's like, you got to the point where it's like, you know, this is like not gonna work. And we really decided that, you know, the show is like, we're gonna come out there, we're gonna do this. What, you don't believe me?
I believe you. No, well, you get to places where a kid saves like 8 months, all of his money that he has to go see the show. The last thing you want to do is watch us go up there and be drunk. You want to do that, you go to Queens.
Right, exactly. I can't follow that one. That was good. But you go to like Budapest, and the guy's like you said, saved his money for like 6 months to see the show. You know, and I started getting like a really guilt trip, and I don't give a shit about anything, but it started bothering me because I was like, you know, fuck, what am I doing here? You know, but Al was the one that actually started that whole thing. Al like looked at me and said like, you're a mess. I was like, I know, what do we do? He said, let's not drink before the show. I was like, okay. And everything was great since then, but it's worked, you know, really well for us, and we only drink twice as much after.
Saying that for years.
Yeah, I said it for 10 years, no one listened.
You have to have the voice of reason, the voice of power. It's like, John, don't drink. Johnny, fuck you. What are you gonna do when that happens? Then you're gonna sit there and go like, well, what am I gonna do? Beat him up? I don't think so.
No, it's pretty easy to fix. You just get all the beer and the booze after the show.
He's good at that. No bottles backstage.
No.
We're like, me and Al are sitting there going, fuck, where's the vodka? It's not till
It's in
after
the Poland Spring bottle.
It's in the Poland Spring. Wrestling is real. That was the one thing I had over him, and you fucked it up. All right, never mind. Next,
switch to lemon, like iced tea colors.
Streets was supposed to originally be like 20-something tracks, right?
Right.
Now I know everybody in here can agree with me. Streets fucking rock.
Right.
Right. Now, it was 10 tracks. Are you guys ever going to re-release it? I know you put out like other tracks and other albums. Make the original, complete, exact Streets, all 26 of them.
Well, if the record company didn't lose all the tapes, we probably would.
There's a problem that I think some of you are aware of. Basically, Streets was the first 96-track album ever done, which was 2 48-track machines slaved together. And the reels were unusually big. And basically what happened was they went into the Atlantic Vaults, which is this huge warehouse that has like every outtake from every great band Atlantic ever has, which is pretty impressive. It's like Led Zeppelin, Genesis, I mean, it's just, you know, Rolling Stones, it's amazing.
Didn't lose any of their fucking.
But the problem was the label has lost the outtakes from Savatage on that album.
Which
Hey,
has
Steve,
some classic Crystal.
Are they available through Steve Wackles on eBay?
Did you steal those? That like sucks, because there was some great stuff that my brother played on that's like, it's gone.
One day they may turn up, but I mean, we really tried. I mean, we went down to the warehouse, we looked, we actually offered people who work in the warehouse $1,000 if they find it.
Boa Constrictor or something. It was like, that was like,
You can't. I mean, Atlantic has been great to this band. I mean, basically they've given them complete freedom.
What do you really think about that? love this crowd. We're all going out partying after this. Now do you believe me?
But basically, they've always given us pretty much unlimited budgets, and which we've always gone over, and they've always
And how much do you make back? Tens of thousands of them?
Yeah, actually, the band does okay, because not only that, they gave the band the freedom overseas, which has turned out to be very lucrative. Is that the word out?
For who?
Yeah. He stands on the 5th. I'll tell you what. That's what I am. No, I love them.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there anyone here from Atlantic?
No.
Oh, good. I'm behaving. No one's going to tell. They're on our fucking side. They're not going to Right?
Are there any songs that y'all like hate, or not like hate, but if y'all are like sick of playing, like live or something?
Sick of playing?
Gutter
Oh,
Ballet?
yeah, we're...
He's sick of playing sirens.
If I have to play sirens one more time, I'm going to have to hurt somebody.
Too far.
You never get sick of playing because of you guys. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for you guys,
We'd be working.
forget about it. We'd be working,
We'd be saying,
building.
would you like ketchup with those fries, sir? We'd be saying, would you like ketchup with fries, sir?
No, it's like you guys, it's like for you guys.
I want to play with the microphone. See, the amazing thing is, shush. No, the amazing thing is that no matter how many places we've been to, there's still like a million places we haven't been. You know, we get mail from like Australia and other places in other places in South America and stuff like that. And every time we wind up touring, like the first time we went to South America last year, we went and did Savatage's first ever acoustic show. We want to talk about 6 really nervous guys. We were like, we didn't know what was going to happen. But,
We didn't even know the song.
but I mean, to show up down there, and then we did the electric show, and there's like 3,500 people, and a show that we never even been there. We didn't know anybody there. Or the first time we went to Greece and the place was sold out, or the first time you go anywhere. And one thing I learned about Savatage fans are pretty much the same everywhere. They've just got like different color hair. And I was laughing the first time we played in Greece because there was absolutely no blonde people. I'm going to Johnny, I'm like, there's not one blonde person.
Well, there were you two guys.
Then I jumped in. Like an idiot, I jumped in and I wouldn't let me back.
He jumped in the crowd, came back with almost his shoes off. They took everything but his boots.
He's like, I think I fucked up by jumping in. Chris, are you alright? He's like, I have one leg. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? He's like, well, they want it. You know, I'm like, dude, you're crazy? What did we do? That's like, we were sitting there laughing at him. Look at this fucking, he's out of his fucking mind. He jumped into that. That's like jumping into a fucking
There's a
shark
better one.
pit.
The best one was we were playing with Testament in San Francisco, and he jumps into the crowd surfing around.
Oh, they threw him out of the building. He's out sitting on the curb going like...
They threw me out of the club, and I'm like getting carried out by these 4 guys going, I'm in the band. I'm in the band. Like, yeah, right. I'm sitting on the sidewalk outside San Francisco like this. I hear sirens.
God's honest.
Sirens.
And we're up there going like, where the fuck is Caffrey at? It's like, is he down there? We're like looking into the pit. These guys are like, kill! I'm like, oh fuck, I hope he's not down there. He's fucking out in front of the fucking place sitting on the curb. I'm like, well, tough encore for you, right? You know, they threw me out, you know.
I snuck back in though. My tour manager came out to like talk to security guards, like crawled underneath him.
What the fuck are you doing out here? Are you supposed to be in there? I think so. Am I getting paid? Go get it. We've had some memorable moments on stage. God believe me, we've had some memorable moments. You remember.
That was my next question. What's one of your most memorable times on the road?
Most memorable times on the road.
We want to bring that up now. Steve might be still in trouble with the law.
About Washington.
Washington, I'll tell you what, wait. On the last tour in America, we did a few shows in America before we went to Europe. This is the God's honest truth. It was the most unbelievable thing that ever happened in my life. Me and Al are sitting at the front of the bus. Everyone else is sleeping. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. We're watching Caddyshack, completely drunk out of our fucking minds, going like, I love my job. And all of a sudden, the bus driver, like, all of a sudden, we're like looking, this car goes and blows past us, right? We're like, what the fuck's going on? All of a sudden, we see like 12 police cars following them. And we're sitting there looking out, and the bus driver, all of a sudden, the guy threw out a bag. He had like a garbage bag, right? He throws out, he has a garbage bag full of money. I was like, we're musicians, okay? Money is the first word in the fucking dictionary. Everything else is meaningless, all right? All of a sudden, it's like this guy throws out a bag of money. I mean, a rather large bag of money, right? And it's like flying against the bus, and I'm just like, money! The whole interstate went like, our bus driver's like, one of our t-shirt guy runs out of the bus in his underwear, you know, pecker flopping everywhere, in a pair of socks, and everyone's like picking up money off the street. Remember, you and me right now, it's like, you got like a little bit, I'm sitting there going like, this is too fucking good to be true. Right? I'm picking up money, I'm going like, oh, I'm gonna get busted and go to jail. Jail, absolutely a negative. In John Oliva's words, jail is not a good place. So I'm like, I got scared. I was like, fuck this, I'm getting back on the bus. But all these guys are like, and all the whole interstate, they were all stopped and picking up money. You know, it's money. I mean, we're talking mega amounts of fucking money here. Like, we're not talking about like a pocket full of money. We're talking about a whole goddamn truck full of money everywhere.
And the kind and generous John Oliva never woke me up. No.
Hey, I opened the door to the back of the bus and I said, money! And only one guy ran out, and me and Al ran out.
Wait.
I was like, you're all on your fucking own. I'm out of
And for the same reason that they give me like all the lyrics, they know I can run the fastest. So by me, they were like, money.
But to make a long story short, the thing that was funny was our sound man had an arm. I mean, we're talking an arm full of money. He had to have 30 grand. And he's walking, and all of a sudden the cops, they blocked off behind the bus. They blocked off the interstate. I'm sitting there looking like, oh, this is going to get bad. There's money everywhere. I'm talking, guys, we're talking money everywhere. He's got this armful of money. He's running to the bus, and all of a sudden he came around the one side of the bus, and there was a cop standing right there going, I hope you were bringing that to us, right? He's like, and it was like we were in the middle of a bank robbery. It was the most intense thing, but it was like something, you can't make that shit up. I'll never forget that. It was like Caddyshack. All I remember was like, and then he was on the fourth hole, and it was like, money! Boom! Greatest road story. That is, of all the road stories, except for me killing people or something like that, was like the best.
I'm sure the cops turned the money into evidence.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they were like, you know, hey, should we turn this in? Well, fucking, I need a new car. There's no cops here. Oh, the dwarf. All right. All right. You're not going to talk about drugs or stuff. All right. Not that would bother me.
This is the best story, I think, or they got a billion, but you guys got to do me one huge favor. If you could turn off the VCRs.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the problems we have is just basically that there's so many projects and they're just backing into one another one at a time. And, I mean, luckily with this team here, we're able to we're trying to get out 2 albums a year, but even that's really an insane schedule. And a Broadway project would just wipe out albums for like a year or two, and that would be a bad thing at this moment. So the first Broadway thing will be Romano, theoretically.
Is this the illicit material?
Actually, this question was for John. I just wanted to know how you got involved in singing the theme song for WWF.
You know what? Give me $6 grand for one day and I'll sing in your fucking band. No, actually, because that's just a joke. In all honesty, it's because of the money and what they were doing. It was all for charity. It was all for, my father is crippled, has been crippled his whole life. And the money that they were raising for that was going to, you know, crippled children and stuff like that. And that's why I did it. I'll tell you what, I had such a great time with those guys. They loved me. They were like everyone else sucks. You are so cool. We were hanging out like Kevin Nash, who's like, that is one big motherfucker. I met The Undertaker first, and I thought he was big. I was like, wow, this is a big guy. Then I met Kevin Nash, I was like, this guy is a real big guy. But we had a really good time with, and they were like Paul said, they were perfect gentlemen.
They were so kind, so
You
classy. Another thing we learned, when you walk down A Street in the Village with 6 guys that are over 7 feet tall, everyone gets out of your way.
It was great. I did part of the video shoot was I went to church with The Undertaker in a taxi cab. I was sitting there in a taxi cab with The Undertaker. He's like, we're going to church. I'm like, fucking cool. What are we going to do there? He's like, I'm going to walk up to the wall and I'm going to make believe like I'm like just looking around, going like that, and you just stand there and just do whatever you do. I'm like, well, I can't do that because we'll probably get arrested. What am I going to fucking do? So I'm standing there looking at this guy. I'm going like, God, this guy is so fucking big. It's like, I'm a big guy. This guy makes me look like a fucking dwarf. I'm sitting there going like, hey, man. Hello? But no, they were really great guys, and all the money that went for that went to, you know, crippled children and stuff, which was a great thing. And they were perfect gentlemen and stuff. And plus, they give us free tickets to all the wrestling shit. Oh, it's so cool, man. We went to titty bars with them and stuff. It was cool. I never felt safer in my entire life. I'm like, I'm surrounded by Kevin Nash and The Undertaker. I'm like, fuck you. What? I don't give a shit how, but fuck you. Hey, these guys are...
Okay, one more question now.
I just want to know why do you think like Savatage and metal music is more popular in Europe than it is in the States?
Corporate radio.
People drink more there.
I think it's a combination of things. I think MTV turned music for a long time very fad-driven as opposed to musically driven.
Yeah.
And I think in the long term it may have hurt music for the, especially for the 80s and 90s, because image can take you only so far. Then the music. That's why a lot of these bands don't do catalog. That's why a lot of them don't tour. I mean, if you look at the big touring bands, most of them are from the past, and, which is a shame. This is when I was younger, which was a long time ago. I mean, the
very long. Only kidding.
The biggest touring bands were the current bands, and as opposed to now, the biggest touring bands like Pink Floyd and stuff like that. So it's, I think music's been hurt, but I think the pendulum is swinging the other way. And another thing that I think is hurt is that it used to be in the old days that if you were big in America, you were big all over the world. And that changed, like in the 90s. And I remember asking someone named Masahito why grunge rock and alternative. Masahito's the biggest DJ in Japan. I said, why aren't the bands that are like grunge rock or alternative that are huge in the States big over here?
Great answer.
He goes, oh, Paul, the Japanese kids look at this as American wine rock.
In Europe, I gotta say one thing about the European audiences, and this is like, I mean, we're obviously we're from America, and but the thing about the European audiences, I found that they are very, very musically educated.
I agree.
And I'll tell you what, it's like when you play there, they'll go crazy and stuff. But you better do your shit right, because if you don't, they're gonna sit there like after show comes, and you go, you sang the wrong word. I'm like, but
I get people giving me like old live tapes of songs that Chris Leva played.
Travis!
This is the way you were supposed to play it. He played it in this one show in Norway live like this in 1982. I'm like, I was not there.
But no, the thing is like in Europe, it's like it was like here in like the early '80s, late '70s, as far as like concerts were like a thing to go to. It was like a thing to do. See, they don't have everything over there that we have here. A concert to them over there is like, that's like, hey, this is my fucking weekend. They save up for that ticket for 2 months. They plan it. They'll drive 5-6 hours like Johnny was saying, but they will. They'll drive like 5-6 hours to come. It's an event for them. Here in America, it's like we have so much of everything. They're like, fuck, I'll turn on MTV. If I don't see it on MTV, I'll go.
It's also, I think, that as music has gotten shallower, it ceases to have an impact in the people's lives. One of the ways you can tell if music is having an impact in someone's lives is, number one, the band can tour. Because if music affects you that much, you go see them live. And number two, 10 years from now, the albums will still be out there, people will still be buying them. Which is why, like The Who can still sell out Shea Stadium 25 years after they put out an album. It's why Pink Floyd can sell out Shea Stadium 10 times 25 years later. And, I mean, that's
it's something to strive for. It's what, hopefully, I think it's what Savatage
Do we get a lot of people that have never, ever, ever seen the band before live that'll be bringing their kids to the shows? You know, they've been Savatage fans for forever, you know, and they'll be bringing them for the first time. So I think having the same kind of, and not like ever changing our music and just being Savatage throughout the years gave us the chance to be around long enough to be able to meet our following. I mean, because if we were changing with the times and losing fans and trying to pick up new ones here and there, we never would have developed something strong enough where we went somewhere. There would be people that, I mean, there may not be 8 million people that own any one Savatage record, but if you added up all the people around the world that have a Savatage record, it's a lot more than a lot of fucking bands out there have sold. And we've learned that you know, we can go to these places and play for a whole lot of people. You know, that's why.
Very true, though.
It is true.
It's true. It's
you know, we'll be,
weird.
up there,
It's like,
we'll be up there playing in front of 100,000 people, headlining in front of bands that have sold like 10 million copies of a record, and the band will be sitting there getting all mad, going, "Why is Savatage open?" And after we're done playing, and we like smack them around like a redheaded stepchild, then it's like.
and we really have a good fucking time doing it too. This is great.
I drove from Long Island for this.
You and Paul are going out. Actually, Paul brought his check.
Wait. One more comment on the European audience. Chris hit it on the head. There's not that much product over there. They don't have a whole hell of a lot of money, you know. So when they listen to a CD, they analyze every note, nuance, lyric thing. It got to the point where I think it was me and you. We went out to some club one night in Germany or one of those countries, and there was this Iron Maiden band playing, right? And it was an Iron Maiden tribute band, and they analyzed the record so much in the middle of one of the songs that actually said they were playing a version of Stranger to Stranger.
That was
the
at
live
Balkan.
album. What's that?
That was at
Balkan.
Balkan.
And they said in the middle of the song, "Thank you, San Jose."
Yeah.
Because that's what Chris that's what Bruce Dickinson said on the live record. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So when we go out there and like I'll mess up a solo or I'll sing the wrong lyric or he plays a special version of All the Mountain King, we're dead.
No, it's Gutter Ballet.
That's it. The
But see, that's all your guys' fault, man. You guys have planted that now in me. I will fuck that song up for the rest of my career. You know, I'm looking at the goddamn keyboard. I wrote this. I should be able to play it. There's no way I'm going to fuck it up this time. And they're all looking at me going, like, here he goes. Da, 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 da. Wanker! God damn it! Now it's like it's a joke. It's like they all say, no, wait a minute.
One time we really paid attention to it because he got done singing the end of what was like Believer when the crowds got something like that. And he looks up and he goes to the audience, he goes, "The old man still got it." And he goes to start going about it, it was like, ding, ding, twang.
And these guys, now it's at the point where every time we play Gutter Ballet, I look over the corner of my eye, and he's there with a cigarette. Him and this guy are standing there going like, it's like at a fucking track or something. They're like, I got 10 on a leave of blowing it up. So it's like now they've implanted it in my mind. So now it's like I know it's going to be clank, 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 clank. Ah, fuck. Now, you know, never playing that again because you guys have jinxed me forever. Yeah, but who cares, you know? Anyway, are we going to play something?
Yes.
What are we playing?
Well, I guess.
What are we doing?
Paul, track of your choice from the new TSO.
Oh, wow, cool. Ooh.